All right, so today we are out here at a range, and we are going to do a little bit of testing. A lot of people have talked about the differences between the Swarovski DS and any sort of original dial scope or traditional dial scope. The main benefit to the Swarovski DS is the fact that it is doing your ranging and dialing for you. Basically, you don't have to pull out a rangefinder, you don't have to reach up and dial the turret. All you have to do is click and shoot instead of range, dial and shoot.
It's taking in your barometric elements as well.
Exactly.
So humidity, density, altitude is all calculated by the scope every time you push that button.
Absolutely. So especially if you're using like a Kestrel with a non-ballistic rangefinder and you're using an app and all that stuff, it is taking out a lot of unnecessary steps when you are using the DS. So today we're out here and we're just going to do a little bit of shooting here in a scenario that is going to highlight the speed of the DS compared to a normal dial rifle scope. Out here today we have a Browning X-Bolt with the DS on it, and then we have a very custom rifle with a Collis K5-25. The custom rifle you're using is a Surgeon Action Krieger barrel with a J. Allen chassis with a Calvin Elite trigger. I mean, the thing is absolutely decked for speed. And then you've got a out-of-the-box Browning X-Bolt with an out-of-the-box DS. So the odds are not stacked against us when it comes to the DS beating it, but we absolutely know it can because it is eliminating so many of those steps. It doesn't matter what kind of rig you've got against it, you are definitely going to be shooting faster with that DS. And in this scenario, we're going to be shooting two different targets. They are known distances right now to us, and we do know our dopes, but we are going to go through the motions of ranging, getting a range, dialing for that range, and then taking the shot. And then the same with the DS, except the DS, there's no dialing. It'll just be range on the rifle scope and then shoot both targets. So it'll be impact on both targets. Once the impact on the second target happens, that'll be when the clock stops.
So not only are we having to do this quickly, we got to do it accurately too, because time doesn't stop till you hit that second steel. You can't move to the second till you hit the first. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started, do some shooting. We're going to figure this out. We've been playing this in our heads. Now we'll see how it works in reality. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, done. 57-23.
57?
Yep. You're 41 seconds.
Woo! Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. right in. Get back. Impact.
I heard that one. How fast was that?
I did kind of hear that. That was 50 seconds. Ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Stop right in. Impact. 48 seconds.
48 seconds with a miss.
All right, so we just got done, and we had some pretty interesting results. So I shot the custom rifle first with the Collis, and then the DS back to back. So very, very similar conditions while we were shooting. I had a clean run with the Collis the first time, and I was right at around 57 seconds.
57 seconds.
And then I ran the DS immediately after, and ended up with about 41 seconds with one miss on the farther target. Later on, I did another run with the DS because I wanted to see if I could do it clean like I did with the Collis, and I did, and I ended up at about 31 seconds. So we can call that a spread right there of about, what was that, 26 seconds from 31 seconds with the DS to 58. The Collis, I was a little bit slow. My transition was a little bit slow on there. Realistically, I probably could have rushed it and cut about 10 seconds off of there. Really, that puts me about 48 seconds compared to 31. Still a pretty intense spread when it comes to that. And really the main portion of that time is dialing, or sitting there and ranging and getting a good range on the target, and then taking that time to dial, making sure you're not, a 6 instead of a 5 or a 4 instead of a 5, making sure you're on that, and then getting into the rifle, which the DS does pretty much all of that for you.
So I ran fairly similar in that I had a miss with each gun. And I was 54 seconds with the Collis on the custom rifle, and about 48 seconds with the DS. I did struggle finding my target the second time with the DS because we put a little bit of pressure on ourselves because that transition counts. And I did have one miss. Plus, with the Browning, it doesn't have the super custom trigger on it, so I figured with 3 shots I'm probably spending an extra 6 or 7 seconds just on the trigger, just making sure I get a good trigger squeeze and trying not to yank it. Plus then wind today has been, it's nice and calm now, but wind today we've had 5 to 15 mile an hour winds, so the whole time we're looking at flags and trying to dope. So it's never an exact apples to apples, but the one thing that is apples to apples is that the DS is always faster than a dial scope. Yeah. Every single time.
We didn't, no matter if it was his 6-second spread or my 26, or and you had some longer spreads and stuff like that too. That we did on a couple different strings. The DS never lost, and that is a big factor. And we know this isn't exactly a hunting scenario, and the DS is definitely not a competition rifle scope.
Right.
But this scenario is just here to show you those transition times. And if you picture it as a hunter, you rarely do you ever sit down, have the chance to, build a perfect rest, get your range, and that deer or elk or whatever is just standing there at the exact same yardage the entire time. He's moving, he's going behind bushes, maybe peeking over, and you have to move. Those small seconds that you have where you just have to get into the rifle, range, and pull the trigger is pretty insane compared to getting into the rifle, ranging the target, dialing the rifle, and then taking the shot. Especially if you don't know your dopes, that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
And most people probably don't know their dopes past 400 or 500 yards. So if you sit there and have to take the time to look at your phone or look at your dope sheet and then do everything, that's even more time spent, behind the rifle, not firing. So that's a big difference. And then you were mentioning that the crosshairs. Why don't you talk about that?
The other thing that's super cool about the DS is that laser rangefinder, we've played with it. You can hit that target at 780 yards, and you hold the crosshairs dead on the target, it gives you 783 yards. If I held at the base of the target, I'd get 781 yards. Hold just over the top of it, I'd get about 790 yards every single time. So that laser rangefinder is telling you with the crosshairs that you are hitting the exact target, not just an area. With the handheld rangefinder, it's got a big circle. You're going to have to hit it multiple times to make sure that you're probably on target. And when you are shooting, those are more extreme distance. The difference between 20 yards can be the difference between a hit and a miss. So the accuracy of the laser rangefinder in the DS is absolutely superb and gives you a tremendous amount of confidence.
So I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is that with the DS, it's taking away so many variables, it's taking away so many things that you have to do, even if you're an extremely practiced, great shot with a system that you really love, like this custom rifle has got. If you've got data sheets or everything, you can pick up that DS, and it takes away so many steps that you will absolutely be faster on target with a system with the DS. It just takes away, it does so many things for you that it's really hard not to be faster with it.
Yeah, for sure. It's just you're on target faster. You're having more fun when you're out here just shooting. It's just a lot more fun because everything is happening faster.
Definitely.